Who else does like a little happy dance when you finish a spool of thread? I don't know what the excitement is about that for us quilters, but it's like, woohoo, we finished one. Hi, my friend, I'm Pat Sloan, and I have lots and lots of thread spools, so finishing one, it doesn't happen that often because I kind of switch them out for some reason, so yeah, there we go, a finish. One thing I want to bring up before I go into the other stuff is that the socialites, let me pop a picture up. The socialites starts on February 20th, and this is a quilt-along that goes until like August 21st, something like that. And I am thinking that there's no way to fit in 3 different things each week. So I will, I think, take and do one socialite starts, one week I'll do socialites, and then the opposite, the next week, the other week, whatever, I will do the blue mill so that they go back and forth. And then this one will end eventually, and then I can go do both of them again. Because the others will go, I think, longer than the Scrappy. But it's just too much to do 3 in one video. So that's what my plan is. We'll see how that works out. Okay, I had to do a little bit more organizing because that's just how my brain does things. I needed to get some stuff cleared off, so I just thought I'd show you a little bit of that. What I've decided is that projects that I'm working on, like the Scrappy and the museum and the coming socialites, I need to put those in these baskets, plus projects that I really want to be working on next after I do the cherries, Valentine cherries. So any of the other bins, which right now are these 3, need to have that stuff pulled out, and then I need to switch some things out of these bins and, you know, switcheroo, because I find that if I can see them here, I can see them, it's similar to them having them on my desktop, but not quite. So it is much better for me. So that is what I'm doing. And I'm pretty happy. I still have things that are on the work table here that I don't really want to have out as long as they've been out, like the cherry. See the cherry up there? I'm working on that cherry love for a Valentine's Day, if I happen to get it done for Valentine's Day. And I just stagnated. I got that sewn and then didn't sew any more on it for several days, so it sat out. But let me show you how I switched around a few things. I am going to switch up the fabric used here, and that is the little cherubs, but I much prefer this bird. This is a beautiful, like, sort of vintagey kind of bird vibe. It is actually, my brother has a tattoo on his hand of that particular bird. I've mentioned that before, so I really love that bird. So that is what's going to go up here because I'll see more of that print. And then everything else is the same, and I am using the kit, and there are kits out there still if you want to make one of these. It's super cute. I'm going to use these new Alpha Bitties, which are called Alpha Clippies now, for this project, for the cherries, because look, they've got clips. So if you prefer to just clip things together rather than lay these on top or clip them with a Wonder Clip, this is the set for you, and I'm going to give them a try, see how they work. Here it all is. This is for the heart at the top and the heart at the top, and I've got all the whites, the reds, the rest of the reds, and the greens. This is the binding and the backing, which comes in the kit, which is absolutely fantastic. And then the leftovers. Right now, these are the leftovers, so it's very generous. That way, if you accidentally cut one of these wrong, or maybe you want to switch something out when you're starting making those cherries, you're like, oh, I'd really like another piece of one of those other colors, you have some to work with. So I really need to buckle down and get the rest of that one sewn, and then I'll just do an easy wave stitch quilting on it so that I can enjoy it. And honestly, I don't know if I'm going to switch out to the red and white quilts because today is February 1st, the season of love, the whole month of February. Red, everything red. But it's a lot to switch the quilts out, and I just don't know if I feel up to it. So I may not this year. Maybe I'll just do the hallway, I don't know, the kitchen and the hallway one, and leave the blue in the dining room and living room. I don't know. I don't know. You might not see another display until I will do March. I will definitely do March. I will switch out, see how much green I have now, because I have that city one coming back with the less than 100 blocks. It's quilted, so I'll be getting that back, so I'll be able to hang it for next month. Okay, now we have the Scrappy Quilt Along, and we are on week, whatever week it is, and it's the kitty block, which comes from this quilt in the book, and I'm doing the kitties, so there's 2 of them. Then there's a single block to do as well, and it is the following quilt in the book, which is called Whose Broad Stripes and Bright Stars. And oh my gosh, that whole quilt, Scrappy, red, white, and blue, isn't that amazing? Wendy does such an amazing job. And so there's one of those blocks. Now, while I was making this, I did a little filming, because I don't always make on the same day as I film usually. Not so. Let's take a look at what I was doing. Here is the cat done with the basic background, you know, more like it's a solid. But I want to do the second cat block with some cat fabric that I have, and well, there's some cute gnome fabric. That would be cute too. But I think I have some cat fabric, and there it is. That isn't what I was thinking of. Oh, this is the one I was thinking of. Okay. Well, how does that happen? I just go right to it. Nice. All right, so I was thinking this one because these are, you know, more dense, and they'll I think just be a little difficult. So I think this is the better one. This is the one I was thinking of, the little cat faces, which was, there's what the line was. I don't know how long ago that came out. So I will use this as the background for the second block, because that's where I'm sort of taking the second block and spicing it up. Plus then we have this piece here. This is the quilt that is called Broad Street Stripes and Bright Stars. This is the second block. I have to make just one of those. For the cats, I am just cutting what I need. I go to the pattern and I see on the diagram, it tells me this is number, what does it say? Letter F. So this is letter F. So I go to the cutting sheet for the background and look at F. And I'm going to cut one for here and then one for over here. And if I was, I already have the one cat done, but I could have cut, you know, 4. But I only need 2 from this background. And the same here. You look at this position, what letter is it? Go to the cutting and cut that one. Same, same, same. Here are the ears that go on. See, it'll go like this. So I just sort of lay the cat out as it'll be, and I will sew it. Now here are sections below where the tails are. There'll be the 3 tails. So I'll do this cat and then that one, because I'm working with the same basic measurements. They're just reversed. Except for the tails. The tails, I think, might be different. No, it's the middle tail that's different. It's the middle tail that's different. So I will do this one, sew those, and then cut and do the middle one. And the other block, which I just have to do one, I cut these strips, these as a strip rather than individual units, and sewed them. And because this is a diagonal stripe, and I want them all to be going in a similar direction where the color part meets here, then up here I have to rotate them so that they're sewn vertical from that strip that I cut. And here they were sewn, are going to be sewn horizontal. Otherwise, if I did it this way, how's it go? Yeah. If I did it like this, then you can see that the stripes go a different direction, that they're not, this color point isn't matching at the middle like it is here. See that? So they are, they look similar, but they're not. And in the end, here it is with the top and bottom. And you'll know on that sheet that you get that tells you what blocks you do for the week, it tells you to add this strip to the top and the bottom if you're doing the kitty blocks. Ta-da! I like the little faces so much. I cannot tell you how thrilled I am that I still had that fabric, because I wasn't sure if I'd used it up. I knew of it in my brain, but then went looking for it, and as you saw, I found it so quickly. I was shocked. And then here's the other one. Doesn't it look different than the book? And the reason is that I did not use this same fabric here. So it breaks up that continuous motion of color around. So instead you have these arrows, which are really, really highlighted, because everything else is very, very light except for those arrows and the four corners. Now, if I had done these corners here in this same color, then you would have gotten that sort of extra, like a block on a block. Also, if you really like the star to be very prominent, then you want to do the darker here, and then you want to make your star less busy, like solid, not solid, but something that has a tiny print or a tone on tone so that it reads solid, so that you really get the star image to pop. Mine, the star image does not pop at all. Like it's unless you knew it was a star there, you probably aren't really going to have that stand out to you, which is kind of what I was going for. I want to do something different and show you how the fabric can play in a different way. So there you go. Those guys, the Scrappy Quilt Along, and the other blocks so far that what we've talked about are on the wall there. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Good stuff, good stuff. So Silver Lake, we're on the second week. So if you haven't started yet, this is a fundraiser for the Virginia Quilt Museum, and last week we started, and the blocks are nice and easy to do so that they kind of go fast, and some people have actually finished theirs. If you go to my Quilt Along Pat Sloan site, you can see some. So let me stand up here and I will show you row 2. I have to get way back. So because the blocks are side by side, so there's no sashing, so you're all blocks all day for the Silver Lake. Look at this, and this is how wide it is. Then if you wanted to put a border, then you could put a border on it. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 by 9, and 9 would be this tall. It's at the ground plus 1. So I think it's 10 rows. But you could make it a little bit smaller if you're looking for a lap quilt, or if you want to do a table runner, see what works for your table and do just the number of blocks plus a second row. I think 2 rows for a table runner would be so darling. And that way you can help support the Virginia Quilt Museum. And this is their fabric, Blue Mill. Look at that. Look how pretty. Look at that stripe. And these are all based on fabrics that were in one, not in the quilt we're talking about, because that's pastels. In the museum collection, the original is pastels, like I showed you last week. But these are all from a different quilt in the museum that we thought would be really give the feel of the Virginia Quilt Museum. And again, here is the pattern. So Wendy wrote the pattern based off the original quilt in the museum, and you can buy these from the museum as print or digital, and then you can support the museum with that sale. Goes 100% to the museum for several months that we're doing this. And I am going to use row number 1. I have to get them organized, the colors I want, but row number 1 I will be sewing as I work on other things, like probably like that cherry quilt. I will just start sewing blocks, and then I can get row 1 sewn and start putting the rows together each week. Okay, 2 more things just to wrap up. I have the Year of the Horse, which is the Chinese New Year is the Year of the Horse. I'm the Year of the Dog, the year I was born. And so isn't that beautiful? My friend Suzanne found this cross stitch out there, and she and I have both been doing it. She said she just finished hers. So I love it. And I started the Red House. Wendy and I are calling it the Red House. So I've got mine started on 18 count. There you go. There's the 18 count, there we go. Which I think is just beautiful. I might be converted to 18 count for a lot of things. Maybe not everything, because I have to stitch a little bit slower. I can, on the 14 count, I can kind of go pretty quickly. So it might be for things that are a little bit more delicate like this. And I am using 2 strands of floss, but I love it. I love how it looks. Okay, get your Scrappy done and your Silver Lake blocks, show them over at Quilt Along with Pat Sloan, and please mention that you've watched my videos so that more of our friends in the group will remember to come watch my videos. That helps me out, helps my small business so much. All right, my friend, I love you. Mwah. Thank you for being here in the Sloan Zone, and it's February. I'll see you online.